Hi everybody. Trying to see if I can get flip it back. I guess it doesn't have a zoom. Oh, it can't zoom. So this is gonna be our car chat. I have about 10 minutes more or less to try to get you this creepy story time that I experienced yesterday. And while I get ready for my day here, I'm just gonna go ahead and go right into it. So a lot of you guys probably don't know, like, my little moonlight job is that I'm a gig worker part-time at night, in the evening sometimes. Certain days of the week I go out and do some deliveries and stuff for, you know, a certain company. And last night I was doing a delivery for, I think it was CVS. I want to say CVS. I just had 3 items to deliver, but I had to do it across town. And it was an area that I was familiar with, but the particular street that I had to drive down was, I never turned right. I always turned left to do deliveries on that side of the neighborhood. But on the right side, I really didn't know that area at all. Like, I knew kind of generally the area kind of around it, but I had never been in there. So this is like almost 9 o'clock at night. Like, it was really late. And I normally don't do deliveries in that area um, that time of night. But it was a gig that was paying roughly like $15. And like I said, I only had 3 items. So I was like, what the heck, I'm going to go ahead and drive across town. So anyway, I made a right-hand turn, and I had to drive a half a mile down this dark road. And it was kind of like a train industry, like, the train tracks and all that. I don't know quite to explain, but railroad industry area. And it's a lot of woods and just little kind of like matchbox houses, or what they call shantytown type looking homes and stuff, with lots of cars and crap. So when I got to the half mile mark, I had to make a left. Fine. All of a sudden, there was this car behind me, like driving all up on me, looked like it was a truck of some sort. And it made me nervous because, like, it was already really dark. I was already feeling kind of uneasy about being alone and being in that area, not really knowing the heck, where I'm going. So the GPS was on, and then I was talking to one of my friends, and we got disconnected. Like, as soon as I turned down the road, our live feed with each other turned off on Instagram. And so I was really, like, surprised that happened. So anyway, I tried calling him back as I was making the turn, but it was like no signal, and it was like GPS was still working, but the GPS signal had went out, but it was still telling me where to go. So as I turned the corner, this truck was right behind me, and the GPS was telling me, hey, the second or third house on the left side is where you're gonna drop this stuff. Well, when I got to those 2 little shantytown houses, there was once again no numbers on the house. So I was like, well, which house is it? So I text the person. I tried calling, but then it just went straight to voicemail. And then I tried texting, and then I was sitting there waiting for a response. And then finally she opened the door and said, this is the house. So I was in between 2 houses, and it was like a parking deck, but there was a lot of cars. So I pulled on in. Soon as I pulled in, that other truck had went around me and parked like kind of ahead of me in that same yard, but further up. And another like SUV pulled up behind me, and a guy rolled down his window, and he was young guy, and he was like, I need to park there. And I said, okay, that's fine. I just need to do this delivery real quick because I'm doing the delivery. So I got out the car, dropped the package off real quickly, and I jumped in my car, took a picture, and sped off really quick because I was like, oh, let me get the heck out of here because I don't know what's really going on, and I don't really feel comfortable, because the guy was like very unfriendly and aggressive, and I can feel people's toxic energy, as you know. So my dumb tail, as I went out around the corner, when I got to the stop sign, instead of making a right, I made a left. And of course, it was getting darker and the energy was getting more crazy. And I was like, where in the heck am I? I don't really know this area. And so I was just freaking out. And so I drove another half a mile on into this other neighborhood, and it kind of dead end. And I had to make a little circle around. And it was like a big caboose or train thing sitting in the way there. So I knew I was near the railroad station. But all these homes were like old and shotgun and all that kind of stuff. Like, they're very old homes. And then it was just very dark and creepy. Like, it just kept darker and darker. There was not a whole lot of light. And I turned around and went back the other way. So that made me have to drive a mile. So I drove a mile back the other way. And then I realized, I don't know where the hell, where my turn is. Like, I couldn't figure it out. I was like all discombobulated. So I turned around again, drove back a half a mile, and I saw the stop sign where I initially had turned in. I turned down that street, and I saw the girl, and I was like, how do I get the heck out of here? And she was coming out of like a little family recreation center type place, for youth camps or whatever, like a place that she was walking by herself. And she said, oh, just go back to the stop sign and you make a left. And she goes, and don't just go straight. She said, go straight to the next stop sign and then make another left, and you go straight down to the light, and you'll see the McDonald's like where you came in. So I did that, and I was able to get out. But I was so frustrated and so freaked out by that weird exchange with the cars and with the dude that
Are very high.
hold on.
They don't have choice.
Sorry, my car system cut off. But anyway, I'm gonna have to edit this. But to make a long story short, I ended up the phone cut back on as soon as I got to the traffic light back on the main road. And I called my friend and I told him, I'm like, look, I'm sorry, but the signal went out and I just had a very weird exchange. I need to get out of this area because I'm really freaked out. I said, there's dark energy or something going on. I can't quite figure out why I feel so freaked out right now, other than the fact that the phone went out. I went down some area I'm not familiar with, and cars were like, I felt I was being followed or something. I said, and I felt like really weird. So I got back on my side of town, like kind of where my starting point is, and I said, well, let me go ahead and gas the car and see if I can do one more delivery and then get some food and go home. Well, as soon as I got to the gas station, I saw a guy in there just standing staring, like from the car. I could see him, and I had never seen him before. It was like somebody new. He wasn't smiling or anything like that, and I'll just leave the descriptors out just for, he's not really relevant anyway, but when I got in the store, he was being very like weird, like he just staring at me. He wasn't really talking. He didn't say anything. I just told him, hey, like I need to put some gas in my car, like, you know, $10 or whatever. And I had my phone with the store app or whatever for their gas station, so I can get my points or whatever to get a discount. And he says, do you want $20? And I said, no, I want 10. So of course I just was like, okay, he's weird or whatever. I got out of the store, got to the pump. I was just like, here, but let me just pump this gas and get out of here. So I wasn't really paying attention. And when I looked up at the pump, I realized it was saying $10.15. And I was like, oh my God, he's trying to charge me, make me put $20 worth of gas in my car when I only told him I wanted 10. And clearly he heard me. Even my friend heard, because we were still on the phone talking to each other. So I stopped it at like $10.17 or something like that. And then I jumped in my car and I kept trying to start my car, and my car was like just turning and turning and turning. It didn't want to stop. Then the car started to shake. And then I told my friend, like, what the hell is going on? My car is like going crazy. I said, let me try to make it across the street to Walmart, and I can get some of that seafoam stuff to put in my tank to see if it'll clean the engine, because maybe I put some bad gas in the car, like not really paying attention to what all I was doing. So I get into the Walmart, I get the stuff, I purchase it. I get back to the car and I realize, you big dummy, you left the gas cap off of the car, and the car really won't operate unless it's pressurized. So I went in and put the gas stuff in there, and the car started acting like normal. Like I put the gas cap on back on tight, closed, and the car drove like normal. And I just ended up going to the grocery store and grabbing some food and getting home like really quick. And I couldn't shake that weird freaked out feeling from just that one trip in that area where I had never been down that street before, and it was just so dark and scary and creepy, and everything that was happening was just getting weirder and weirder all the way up until I got back across town, which I still could feel that dark energy over me. And I'm just saying all that to say is that it was freaky, and I'm still like today with like goosebumps going all over my body because I can't figure out why something so simple turned to be something so like disorienting, like a single one turn, which I just should have been just trying to get back out, and I got turned all around from all of the weirdness of the people that were around me. So I hope you enjoyed this story time, and I'll have to splice this up into pieces and speed it up a little bit so you guys can get the full feel of the car talk energy. And if you like it, give me a like, and like, share, follow me on the YouTube. I am on there as well. It's Princess Ariel M. So thank you for listening, and y'all have a wonderful day. Bye.